Next, I would like to request Dr. Subhash Singh sir to kindly felicitate Dr. Tushar Kanti Mandal sir, Research Officer Ayurveda, Central Ayurveda Research Institute, Kolkata, Ministry of AYUSH. Beginning of the scientific session, I would like to request our dignitaries and Professor Dr. Subhash Singh sir to kindly take their seats. We have to begin with the scientific session. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you all of you. With the topic Introduction and Overview on Pharmacovigilance for Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani and Homeopathic drugs, for which I would like to invite Dr. Swapan Paul sir, Associate Professor and Coordinator, Intermediary Pharmacovigilance, National Institute of Homoeopathy, Kolkata, to kindly enlighten us on the topic. Please welcome, sir.
Former Director, sir, Dr. Subhash Singh, sir. Our speakers today, Dr. Durga Shankar Bhatt, sir, Dr. Prathapati Pal, and Dr. Tushar Kanti Mandal. And the participants, those who are in online and offline. I welcome you all on behalf of NIH Kolkata or from Intermediary Pharmacovigilance Centre, NIH Kolkata. I heartily welcome you all for this awareness program on pharmacovigilance for Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani and Homeopathic drugs. I know that you are now well aware about the pharmacovigilance because this concept has taken up for last few years, and by this time many of our students have already attended this pharmacovigilance awareness program in NIH Kolkata. And they have already attended some program on online basis also. And the participants, those who are on the other side on online platform for this program, I hope that many of you have already known about pharmacovigilance program because many of the program has been organized online and offline. So this is not a very new concept. Apart from the name, you can find that the pharmacovigilance is related to a kind of vigilance which is relating to a drug. It may be Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, Homeopathy as well as the modern medicines. So as from my first slide you can get that pharmacon is related to the drug and visually it is to keep watch. So we are watching the medicines which has been given to our patient, how they are acting and whether any kind of adverse reaction or any kind of adverse drug event is happening with the use of this medicine or not. So WHO, World Health Organization, they have mentioned very primarily that no medicines is without any adverse consequences, although this vary severity and frequency. We know that before marketizing any medicines for any system of medicines, the medicines has to pass through different trial process. So after being trial process, we come to a conclusion, yes, our medicine is safe now, so we can implement it to our patients. But even then, the organization WHO, they have suspected, yes, even after the proper clinical trial process, even we consider that our medicine is very safe to our patient, even then there is a chance, it may be a 0.0001% chance, but there is a chance that there may be developed any kind of adverse reaction or adverse event. So that's why this pharmacovigilance concept is for every system of medicine. If you look back to the global history about the pharmacovigilance for any system of medicine, we can find that the incidence in the year 1848, and there one incidence has happened, the death, Hanna's death, due to overuse of chloroform. At that time, this pharmacovigilance was not that much popularly known, but they could find that yes, something wrong has happened. So that was the primary incidence happened, followed by which there are series of events happened, But I must mention here the incidence of 1961. That is the primary and the alarming incidence where the pharmacovigilance concept was taken worldwide. What was that incidence? McBride wrote a letter to the Lancet journal that there's some tragedy relating to thalidomide, because in thalidomide was being used for hyperemesis gravidarum or some pregnant ladies. They are being prescribed with this drug to remove that or to cure that hyperemesis gravidarum, but indiscriminate use of this drug caused some kind of adversity to the offspring, the child, those will be born. And there were, in the maximum cases, it has been found that the mother who has taken this medicine, they gave birth child which is developing a congenital anomaly, and that is known as Homoeopathy. So that was an alarming incident, but the other mother, those who don't take that medicines, they didn't develop, their child didn't develop. But why it has developed? So looking back retrospectively, it has been seen that the mother who has taken this medicine, they are particularly developing this Homoeopathy. So worldwide, that incidents taken into consideration, that yes, we must consider about the pharmacovigilance. Followed by which there is a definition about the pharmacovigilance given by the WHO. They have mentioned that pharmacovigilance is the science of collecting, monitoring, researching, assessing and evaluating the informations from the healthcare providers and the patients on the adverse effects of medications, biological products, blood products, herbals, vaccines, medical devices, traditional and complementary medicines. So see, the definition has initiated this program pharmacovigilance in the year 2003, and at that time All India Institute of Medical Science, Delhi was the nodal center, and they started finding this ADR, or they started monitoring ADR since 2010. WHO emphasized that the traditional medicines should be under consideration of pharmacovigilance. So Ministry of AYUSH, they started this program in the year 2017 and 18, and for ASU drugs, Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani and Homoeopathy drugs. Recently, one system has been incorporated, that is SWARI. How to improve the patient care and safety, and thus to improve the public health and safety, to contribute to the assessment of benefit, harm, effect and risk of using our medicines, to promote understanding, education and clinical training in pharmacovigilance and its effective communication to the healthcare professionals. Because this kind of awareness program we are repeatedly doing because to make aware not only our this medical field but also the patients, because until and unless they are aware, how they can report to the doctors. So the doctors will be reported by the patient only. So when the patient will be aware, definitely it will come to us in the form of informations or signals relating to the use of medicines if there is any kind of adversity. The program is under Ayush Aushadhi Gunavatam Evam Utpadan Samvardhan Yojana. So in short, we call it as AUGUSI system. And this is a kind of central sectoral scheme for these Ayush drugs. And the vision of this scheme is, the scheme intends to promote and project the quality, acceptability and visibility of Ayush product for enhancing people's confidence in their use for healthcare and improving the trade. The AUGUSI and the Ministry of AYUSH has been initiated to facilitate standardization, effective enforcement of the rules and regulations, technology upgradations for manufacturing as well as analytical testing, certification, accreditations, training and capacity building activities intended towards the quality assurance of all these schemes that we have already mentioned, that we are giving the qualitative medicines and we are building capacity building, training, accreditations, quality assurance of the products. So that has been taken care of by this system. In pharmacovigilance, according to hierarchy, we have three different types. The National Pharmacovigilance Coordination Centre, below which we are having Intermediary Pharmacovigilance Centre, and after that we are having Peripheral Centres. So this is the hierarchy of this pharmacovigilance initiative, and on the top we are having Ministry of AYUSH, they are regulating this, and on Ministry of AYUSH we are having Central Drug Regulatory System. So the centers which are here all over India, there is a list for all systems that intermediary centers, All India National Pharmacovigilance Centre is the All India Institute of Ayurveda, that is in New Delhi, under which we are having intermediary centers. In Ayurveda we are having 2, and take in consideration that all national institutes are considered as intermediary centers. So in Ayurveda we are having 2, in Siddha we are having 1, Unani 1 and Homoeopathy 1. So all national centers are intermediary centers. So under these intermediary centers we are having peripheral centers. In Ayurveda as of now we are having 52. In Siddha we are having 15, Unani 15, Homoeopathy 16 and Swadipa 1. Quality issue and safety issue of our drugs, definitely. So we want to know the impact of using these medicines, Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani and homeopathic medicines. Detect the potentially unsafe medicines, because when we are collecting the information as a part of signals or ADR, from there we can conclude that which medicine is very safe and which medicine is doing something wrong for the patient. So detection of potentially unsafe medicines. Then detection of misleading advertisement, that is another good initiative from the Ministry of AYUSH, that under pharmacovigilance initiative, it has been taken care of, that misleading advertisement is identified, then proper action will be taken. And followed by which that regulatory action will be taken regarding these misleading advertisements. The aims and objectives of this pharmacovigilance in Ministry of AYUSH, without the reporting, without any kind of information from the doctors, the system will not exist. So inculcating the reporting culture among the consumers as well as the practitioner to facilitate the documentation of adverse drug reactions and adverse drug events. Then inculcating the reporting culture about the misleading advertisement. If somebody is not reporting, then we are not having any kind of information and we cannot take the regulatory action. Developing a system-wise database for ADR, developing a system-wise database for this improper advertisement or misleading advertisement. So these are all maintained. To collect the informations, we are forwarding this information to Ministry of AYUSH. There are database and that has been collected, stored system-wise, that which system has given how many informations and what kind of informations. So need of pharmacovigilance awareness program, proving the access to the healthcare system, definitely, as we have already mentioned, that if the people are not aware, if the patient are not aware, if the physicians are not aware, then the information will not come. So database will not be improved. Then we seek to empower the communities and the patient, definitely patient should be aware. Then too, we intend to aware the medical professionals with appropriate tools, information and skills so that they can make the high quality informed decisions on prevention, treatment, care and support. Then we intend to aware the stakeholders like drug manufacturing unit, individual researchers, that if they are having any kind of this information relating to AD or misleading advertisement, they are also part of this program. So who are the beneficiaries of this awareness program? Definitely medical professionals, paramedical staffs, communities, patient and others stakeholders. So something about NIH Kolkata as IPvC. So we had started our journey in the year 2018. At the initial point of time, we had 7 centers, peripheral centers. And as of now, today, we are having 60 peripheral centers all over India. If you look to the list of peripheral centers, these are the list of peripheral centers. It is all over India, starting from the Noida, then even Port Blair is also having a center. And I must mention that CCRH is having many of the centers, that Regional Research Institutes, as in peripheral centers. So this is the list, 16 centers are there. So, through which the information can be given to the centers, peripheral centers or intermediary centers, the information can be given. So this is the ADR reporting format of this, how to identify ADR. The slide is there, Tushar is about this ADR. Dr. Pratupurtipal is there to detail about this misleading advertisement. Dr. Rajiv is there to give you the research aspect of pharmacovigilance. Dr. Durgashankar Varsad is there regarding the importance of this pharmacovigilance, that we have mentioned that the drug manufacturing unit are also a part of this initiative. So he will also be giving you the importance of pharmacovigilance in this. So this is a part of this misleading advertisement, the format which is being maintained in our centers. And I must mention about this information that www.ayush.com. So this is one of the information for your purpose, that if the centers are not nearby to you, done through this website. So downloadable forms are there, and even the online information is giving online information. That portal is also there. Recently, this portal has been further developed, and it has been very made user-friendly portal. And through this, any physician can report regarding misleading advertisement as well as ADR. So at last, I will mention that homeopathy, along with any AYUSH system of medicines, that should be under strict surveillance. We cannot deny that all medicine cannot do harm to our patient. It is given in very negligence, because we are having reports that some reports has come from different centers, like 16 peripheral centers. They have reported that yes, there is a chance of developing a kind of ATE. So we must be under strict surveillance. It is an absolute necessary to ensure the public safety, because the patients are not guinea pigs. So we cannot do anything, whatever we intend. So if this thing is there, yes, AD or AD, there is a chance. So to ensure the patient safety, that is our primary role. Then homeopathic system of medicine also comes under the purview of pharmacovigilance to establish a database to support the safety issue of the homeopathic drugs, safeguarding the image of the homeopathy. Sometimes it has been mentioned that homeopathy is nothing but a placebo effect. So that can also be countered through this information that what we are receiving from the different centers, that yes, a kind of adversity is developing from the use of medicines. So lastly, we must also take care of about the misleading advertisement. That should not be propagated. If it is being identified at any point of time, that should be reported so that the regulatory action can be taken and this misleading information doesn't pass on to the society. Because we know that over-the-counter drug, getting the over-the-counter drug is now a big problem for every system of medicines. So if the patient is taking any kind of these over-the-counter drugs, any kind of this AD or ADR happening, then it is remaining unnoticed or it is remaining unreported. So this is a big challenge for us also. So making aware about the people, patients, so that they will not have, if there is a kind of, I said 0.001% chance is there, it can be reported properly to the physicians and it can be reported to the center, so that we can take the regulatory action. So lastly, I will mention that all the participants, those who are there in the offline and offline, they are also a part of this initiative, and they have the responsibility, specific responsibility, that they have been given the responsibility to treat the patients. So that patient's treatment should be a safe way and safety way, making the patient's confidence for your system, and any kind of information relating to a signal or any kind of AD, ADR, it is happening to you, that should be reported to the centers nearby to you or through the online process. So thank you all for patience hearing, offline and offline participants. And now,
because of paucity of time, I couldn't prepare any presentation to show you. That's why I came totally unprepared. I came here only as a part of audience to learn something from here. But when I've been asked and ordered, rather I've been ordered by Kolkata to speak something here, I cannot deny that. However, the subject chosen for me is pharmacovigilance in homeopathy industry. So you all know that pharmacovigilance came into existence after that infamous thalidomide episode that occurred in 1960s. And when WHO implemented that there should be some pharmacovigilance program, India joined in that program most probably I think 1998 or 1997. And after that, pharmacovigilance of India pharmacovigilance was initiated in 2017. When that came into purview of pharmacovigilance, in some sector, question was raised: why homeopathy is being brought into this? You all know that homeopathic medicines are well-proved medicines, as it proved on healthy human being and all those things, and it is totally safe. And secondly, it is a natural medicine. So why it should come under purview? But at that time, we didn't perceive that. Nowadays, homeopathic medicines are now being increased in use in mother teacher form, rather in mother teacher form, increasingly in mother teacher form. And almost all our medicine are toxic medicine. We don't have any control over the dose or how long it will be used at a time. We don't have any control. So if I use a toxic dose, in toxic dose for a long time, what will happen? That will, of course, destroy our health. So pharmacovigilance is of course required for AYUSH, especially for homeopathy also. I am giving you one example from my experience. Sometimes I was called by the Director of Drugs Control, West Bengal. He called me, Dr. Bhatt, one patient has come to, person has come to me. He is taking homeopathy medicine, he is suffering from some physical ailments. Will you please come to see him? What is the problem? The next day when I visited the person at a drug control department, I find that his palms, legs and some body parts are with black spots are there, and he is saying that it is itching, all of this is itching. When I asked him, have you taken homeopathic medicine? He said, yes, I was taking homeopathic medicine. Which medicine you are taking? He told that I was taking ars brom, mother tincture. That is arsenic brom. How long? No, I was suffering from diabetes. Doctor prescribed me to take for 7 days, and that gave me almost cured me. So I am taking it for long. I am taking it for 3 months, almost for 3 months. Just understand what happened. Arsenic poisoning is taking continuously taking arsenic compounds, and arsenic poisoning has happened in his body. So what is the control? You don't have any control. Homeopathic medicine is available off the shelf, almost off the shelf. No prescription is required for that. Anybody can go purchase any homeopathic medicine, if you need mother tincture or anything else, and he can take as long as he can. Think, for example, you are prescribing lycopodium. Usually lycopodium is not prescribed in mother tincture form, it is prescribed in potencies, in high potencies. But I have seen that in some combination medicine, lycopodium 1 has been added, and on the label it is said that you shall have to take the medicine thrice a day, and you shall have to continue this. As a homeopathic physician, do you recommend that? This is the only reason why homeopathic medicine should come under pharmacovigilance, as because we don't have any idea about what dose should be given, how long it should be given. As because all our medicines are very toxic, almost all medicines are very toxic medicine. Say for example, Naxonica. It contains strychnine, very potent poison. If we give some person some mother tincture for long, what will happen? Another instance I am giving, telling you. Some person called me that doctors said that you should have to take 1 drop of aconite mother tincture once a day. After taking that, he was feeling good. So only 1 drop is too small a drop. They will take 10 drops at a time. He is continuing with 10 drops. And ultimately, some poisoning effect was found in his body. This is a very wrong. So pharmacovigilance is of course required for us to control our dose. What is the actual safe dose for homeopathic medicine? We shall have to find out. How long we can continue? Even for some safe medicine, so-called safe medicine. For example, chelidonia. There is report that after taking chelidonia mother tincture for 15 to 16 days, some poisoning effect is coming in some body. That has been discussed. And because chelidonia contains some alkaloids, the poisoning effect was only because of that. So pharmacovigilance is of course required for our medicine. However, so another problem is also there. About the making medicine. When you prepare some medicine, are you getting the correct drug? Can you test our drug properly? I am giving one example. Dr. Mondal is here from Ayurveda. Dr. Mondal, you must remember that the problem with giloy, use of giloy, there is a big problem with use of giloy. Tinosporia in our tongue, Tinosporia partifolia. We are also using Diospora cordifolia. Ayurveda is also using Diospora cordifolia. Sometimes, actually, because I was in CCRH, this problem came here. That some person actually complaining that after taking Diospora cordifolia, some positive effect is coming. After investigators find that a very similar species of Diospora, that is not Diospora cordifolia of course, but almost similar species of Diospora, that is creating that problem. So here also, testing is very much important to get rid of all these things. We must be very sure what material we are using. In homeopathy particularly, almost 60 to 70% of our medicines are herbal medicines are imported. Are we getting the right herbal medicine, right herbal material from states or from other European countries? Sometimes not. Very recently I was seeing on advertisement, they are saying that they are using guaiacum mother tincture for the combination. I don't know. You cannot import guaiacum here. I don't know how those persons are getting guaiacum mother tincture and how business should take care of all these things. In some other, even some addition of allopathic medicines are there. For example, painkillers, pain-killing medicine, homeopathic medicine. I have to that somebody is giving diclofenac in the medicine. Actually, CDSO sent me some report of that this medicine, this combination contains diclofenac and paracetamol. What to do with this? And these are the facts. And we must have control all these things. In some common cold medicines, antihistaminic compounds are being added. We must have to take control of that. I think I'm taking much of time because I'm totally unprepared. I think this is enough for today for me, and I thank you all for giving me a very patient hearing.
Medicine drug preparation. Now I would like to request to educate us regarding the concept of adverse drug reaction and pharmacovigilance concerns. I would like to invite Dr. Tushar Kanti Mandal sir, Assistant Director, Central Ayurveda Research Institute, Kolkata, to kindly come on the stage. Please welcome sir.
and all my senior students. This program is organized very short period, and now 2-3 programs is going on in the under Ministry of AYUSH. So one is that Pushurma, and there is that Pharmacovigilance Safety Week from 17th to 23rd, and another is that Ayurveda Day also is going on, same thing, as well as another program that is Hindi Pakawara. So 4-5 programs are going on same things. In this matter, our pharmacovigilance programs also important matter. So that comes in consideration here. So I am very much thankful to Dr. Savanpal for inviting me for this interesting occasion regarding that pharmacovigilance. Because of now that pharmacovigilance of ASU&H drug, what I will tell Dr. Pal, that is nowadays one of the major part in all over India to control the quality control standardization for ASU&H drug. Because now ASU drug is not for the national level, but also in abroad. In the international level, this is most important. So, the maintain the quality and standards that is required very precise way, and that is the pharmacovigilance is required for maintain these standards. So, maximum things have been told Dr. Pal. I will just give some important things what we should take in care regarding that pharmacovigilance. reporting. So these things also take pharmacovigilance aims and need of firms also discuss the need that pharmacovigilance importance with the global focus is that instead for the traditional medicine safety. Even the growing provinces of Ayurvedic, Siddha, Unani and Homoeopathic products as well as now Swadipta increasing. So there are things we have to regulate. Otherwise we can control our all these things in a systemic way. So the innovative regulation, uncontrolled distribution challenge and the poor quality that's also required. Need for regulatory measures. There is an urgent need to robust the regulatory measures because of drug controls. Each and every state is drug controls there. But still now we are not aware, as well as the doctors and the health workers and all things which are not so aware regarding the this misuse of medicine and the different type of effect and effect. So regulatory measures is most important. So objectives, measure the short-term objectives to develop the culture of notifications, mid-term objectives to involve the healthcare professionals and the professional association with the drug monitoring and information dissemination, and long-term objectives to achieve the operational efficiencies that would make NPV for ASU drugs a benchmark for the global drug monitoring evidences. Effects, the generation of awareness, disseminations of information on drug safety, strengthening the drug regulations, and rational and safe use of medicines. So drug safety. So regarding this pharmacovigilance, drug safety is the most important. As we told that no medicine is the absolute safe at all poses some magnitude of safety and health risks. Making sure that all medicines are safe for their intended use in the on ordering process that starts in the development stage and continue long after in this market. So initially some medicines not we can take that not effective or not side effects there, but the long term use. So each and every medicine and some the process is closely monitored by manufacturers and regulatory authority. This is the major important because this Ayurvedic and ASU means total AYUSH drugs not controlled in proper way. So pharmaceuticals as well as the authority, we have to take strict action regarding these uses of this ASU drugs. In drug safety conduct comes the adverse drug reaction, side effects and adverse reactive here. So drug safety main sources of information. Development, the preclinical, animal and in vitro studies. Second was the clinical studies, phase 1, phase 2, phase 1 to phase 3. At the post-marketing, spontaneous adverse, contractual partners, published medicinal literature, clinical trials, EMS and phase 4 studies, epidemiological studies, data collection and other purposes. Safety signal, that is the most important. A signal consists of the reported information. Signal is which is not mentioned in the drugs or in the preparation time, but during the use, so many information, so many events may be arises. So their signals we have to detect, and the signals make that reporting for any ADR. So these are the terms used in the ADR. That is the adverse drug reaction, ADRs, adverse events, ADE, side effects. Side effects means which are mentioned the people use. People are during that clinical trial, between the animal trials, that side effects of these things has been recorded. Serious side effects, SAE, that was maybe caused the fatal also. And expected adverse reactions. They oppose to unexpected an event that is noted in the procedural labeling. An unexpected adverse reaction, which are not mentioned in the drug, but that may be occurred. So purpose of reporting ADR. So to identify the safe drugs, to calculate the incidence of ADRs. So this is the things which are maximum we are using to things. So safe drug, identity safe drugs is most important. That is more than 69%. Signal detections. I previously told that were to prepare the ADR. That is the two types. One is the spontaneous reporting, and other is the spontaneous reporting is most commonly from the ADR reporting. That is healthcare professionals identify and report any suspected adverse drug reaction to their National Pharmacovigilance Centres or the manufacturers. Mandatory reporting is that manufacturers are required to submit reports to the received from healthcare providers to the national authority in the form of the PSQR, this periodic safety update report. Next one is that the regulatory documents prepared by the marketing authorities and submitting to the agency. That was the worldwide post authorization safety experience. Last one is the includes information on all areas collected irrespective of the reporting. And the last one includes scientific evaluations of risk benefit package. So regulatory actions on the basis. The summary of the product characteristics of the SPC basis on the information for healthcare and professionals, how to use the medicinal products safely and effectively. And the patient information leaflets. So drawn up this accordance with the SPC. Most of summary of the product characteristics we have to present to the patients. So classification area, the 4 types A, B, C, D. Type A, the augmented reactions, pharmacologically prescribed from the known activity of the drug and the use discovered during the research. When this during research that different type of activity and the effect we can have to report. They are common dose related but are usually weighing with low mortality and mobility. This is the nearer safe drug, which is the unpredictable and rare, often at rate of less than 1:1,000, means 1,000 patients one incident may occur. And usually those independent and have high morbidity or mortality. Third one is type C. Type C, the chemical reactions are those reactions whose biological characteristics can be either rationalized or even predicted based on the chemical structure of the patent drug or effective international metabolism. Just before the doctor, जब सीड लगेगी तो सीड के बीच में there is a leaf, one leaf is there, and that leaf contains high toxins. So that leaves have to remove. After removing that leaves from each and every seed, then that dry in the sunlight, minimum 3 days. That may be it. So, and again that soaked in the cow's urine, again dry in the sun day. So 3 consecutive way we have make it, then it make sodhan, that called purification, and that are used. If this sodhan means this purification process is not maintained properly, so many toxin effects will be there. And you know that that is that receptor block this seed contains toxins, and that called the spasm, muscle spasm, and sometimes also spasm of the respiratory muscle spasm. So also death can be occurred. So these type of things we have to take care before we present the medicine and prescribe the things and all these things. Another examples also are telling that finance, so many, but we are used that you must put a corticolia. This is the most safe and important, but different type of places and different way that so many plants are used. But if we not the proper plant, which are mentioned as a medicine, so that may be toxin. And there are also so many reporters and papers, they have told that this Intermediary corticolia, that is called Guruchi, Gulancho, Bengali में Gulancho, Hindi Guruchi. But during the COVID time, we have used this plant, this drug, Giloy Shatto and Giloy Contributi. This is the one of the best immunomodulator. And we have used more than 12 crore this number more than all over the India for that COVID period for increase the immunity, and that's also reported in the third mentioned that there is no side effects, but that increase the immunity. So we have to choose the right drugs. That's important. Development of suppose example development of vaginal cancer upstream, where the methods of the receiving the drugs, that's diethyl during the pregnancy it gives this drug, and in future that causes the vaginal cancer. Now the area reporting system for the harbor, how it is reporting culture, what to report, that all this area is you have to report. And what is the risk that life-threatening, hospitalizations, disability, these things may be occurred during this risk factor we have to report. So who can report this also? Important. So frequency of ADR, how we can detect? So very common means 1 upon 10. If one instance happen within 10 patients, that's called the very common. Second was the common frequent, but 1:100. Third is uncommon, infrequent, that is 1 into 1000. In such way, rare, that is 10,000, and very rare, that is 1 lakh. So we have graded in such way to prevent the ADR. So first we can from the known ADR side effects, that is unavoidable and avoidable. This also goes to the preventable adverse event, if that is avoidable. So we can prevent this adverse event. And unavoidable, that injury or death. That medicines are remaining that uncertainties, that is unexpected areas and side effects, unnecessary uses and unstudied populations, so which cause injury or death. So in such a way we can prevent and we can make the measurement regarding this area. During incorrect medicine ordered by the prescriber, that's the medication errors, administration of the medicine or dose that differ from the written order, and negligences, means medical decision making of care below the acceptable standards of practice. So these things how we can occur. When the medication errors occur, first the medication ordering or prescribing. Sometimes we make, in some area we can make the wrong prescription. Next one is the transcribing. Transcribing is from doctor to pharmacist. That may be also transcribing, may be changed or some things may be differ. Then dispensing. During dispensing, means doctor एक medicine लिखा है but उसको देने का time pharmacist दूसरा medicine दे दिया. That's may be occur. Patient can take दिन में 2 बार 3 बार या कोई drug 3 बार लिख नहीं पाता है, वो एक बार ले रहा है. So in such way, what type of things we have to take in care? And that's monitoring. Measure is the monitoring. So who will be monitoring? So these things, everything is under the monitoring. We can make this situation. So that medication ordering prescribing medicine that occurred 77%, transcription 5%, dispensing 1%, administering 12.8%. But monitoring is very low. So nobody are monitoring what happened after taking drugs or any type of misleading or any type of errors happening. The patient, he is not also care, he is not also aware about these things. The doctors is not aware of the things, and in middle, the health worker or pharmacist or these things, they are also not taking care the proper system of this misleading and this medication error. So these things we have to take proper care from doctor to patients. Then we can make this, reduce these factors. So these things are medication and the medicines are two different type of process during the administration. The medication errors occurs. The cause of the medical errors, that's human factors. Heavy staff, workload and fatigue, sometimes so many backward training, poor handwriting and oral orders. These things happens. Second one is that workplace factor, poor lighting, noise, interruption, this one, and the pharmaceutical factors that excessive prescribing, confusing medicines in nomenclature, packaging, quality of medicines per patients, the frequency and the complexity of the calculation needed to prescribe, and last one the lack of effective policies and procedures. Individual case report assessment, delegated study and interpretations, signal detection, risk factors, intersections, serial clinical pathological study, and the frequency of estimation. These are the points of the continuous report work. So measure uses of a casualty, that is the one is data exchange, drug regulations, electrification and scientific publications. So So fourth thing is also important during that ASW analysis, the strain means during this ASU drug, that 75% of community people realize traditional medicine, so we have to take all drugs derived from the natural resources. So this is our strain, time tested, multi-systemic approach and comprehensive. The benefit of ASU and ACE drug may utilize globally if safety has been established, the validation commercially and that therapeutically as a global aspect. Third is that one false belief of ASU drugs that Ayurvedic brands and AYUSH drugs with no side effects. This one is the wrong thing, but this concept we have to clear. The wrong interpretations. We never make a wrong impression regarding the use and the indications, and including the basically testing assay may violate the basic principles of AYUSH. So during this preparation, all the things. So these are AYUSH process. I also tell doctors things. So in conclusions, there is a widespread common belief that the nature is safe, so there is no side effect. Medicinal plants, metal, minerals, brain products are being used for medicinal purpose. Among them, few are inherently toxic. So traditional preparations methods, these things we have taken care for preparation drugs, and it's always better to have enough safety data. So if you gather more safety data, then we can take it. So all the things are under monitoring. Two things are important, and if you taken care of this all ADA monitoring and we are reporting, so we can we can make our standards and quality will be ASU drugs will be developed. So thank you. Thank you.